It was the ancestors of the white right-wingers. They were absolute savages. They murdered people. They lynched people. They raped people. They enslaved people. They took babies from their mothers and sold them as property.
What he's saying about slavery and all the atrocities that happened with slavery, which are well documented, is true. But what we want you to focus on right now is the fake outrage.
I've always been concerned about that our voting bloc when it comes to the Democratic Party, because I think it is really it's disturbing to me that that we're the only demographic that votes like that. That's why I kind of liked Malcolm X.
Yes.
Because Malcolm X he didn't care about integration. It wasn't that wasn't even the point. The point is that they don't like us, they don't like us. But we're the 13th, 14th, 15th Amendment says that we're citizens, we can vote.
Yeah.
And so it don't matter if they don't like us. This is the Constitution, and we have every right to bear arms, and he did. You know what I mean? He said we have every right for freedom of speech, which he did. He owned a home. You know what I mean? So that's the thing. It's like I think that we kind of need to stick to the Constitution.
Yes.
And then things will happen naturally.
I totally feel that. I feel like that's where we're going wrong, is we're not sticking to the Constitution. We're thinking and we're believing that somehow we're separate from America. This is why I have a problem with calling myself African American. I call myself, I'm black. I'm American. I'm American first, right? But, and my race, I'm black. And so I feel like when we separate ourselves just in that, it's like we don't. It's like you are even directly or even indirectly saying that you're not part of your own Constitution. So when I see people like this man talk, Malcolm X warned us of this. Okay, I'm sorry, but he did. You have to be really careful of liberal people, especially white people, talking like this. Because
what do you say? The white liberal is like the wolf in sheep's clothing.
Yeah, you gotta
they
be
look
careful.
like they're your friend.
Yeah, but
they do more damage than you might think. So there is this sort of rhetoric that's been going on for a long time that kind of keeps black people emotional and stagnant, where we don't move, we don't progress, nothing good ever happens to us.
Right.
It just gets worse and worse and worse. Mass incarceration gets worse. The family gets broken up more.
We fall for it.
We fall for it too much, and it's time for us to think independently.
And so when you see black conservatives, black conservatives get the Uncle Tom, Bedwinch, we get all the names, right? We get all the names, and I'm fine with that, as long as we're getting the word out. You see someone like Malcolm X being like diminished and trying to be, they're trying to let him go. They got him out of here eventually. It's like he was telling us. He was telling us.
Yeah.
He was telling the people this is where it's going to go. And then it's almost like this guy had a lens to see exactly what was going to happen in the future, which is what we're seeing right now. He's like, he predicted it. Not a psychic, just understood.
Yeah, I mean,
it was
all about our hair being natural.
Yeah.
Malcolm X is all about our hair being natural, women being ladies, women, he even said at some point, I think, in one of his speeches, that he said, we're hard on women because women are the mothers of children, and they're the next generation. They're actually the first teachers. Yeah. And they take it. So, to me, I've always been a big fan of Malcolm X, simply because I feel like
he also told the
truth of his life.
And a lot of black leaders don't tell the truth of
he
life.
Talked about that. Yeah. You know what I mean? And there's some truth in that. You know what I mean? And when you can tell me your truth, then I can trust you a little more. But this was like what Danielle was saying when Joe Biden told Charlamagne the God, you're not black. If you feel like you can't determine whether you want to vote for me or Trump, then you ain't black. That's the arrogance of the white liberalism. Is that they do think that. They think that if you don't vote for them, then you're not black.
So they believe that to be true.
But why would they not?
Why would they not?
Over 90% of us vote for them.
Are they wrong? Are liberal people, are the Democrat, are they wrong? 90 in the 90 percentile? They got black people right where they want them, right in their little hand.
And it's all because of the emotions.
Yeah.
They keep our emotions like so to the surface that if they say anything that like Daniel said, like trigger words, like being racist. You use that word to black people.
we were sent a video by, I'm gonna play this video real quick. But we were sent a video by oh my gosh, I believe his name is Tyrone. I think it's Tyrone is his name. And he sent us this of Cenk Uygur from TYT, and you'll see what we mean by the outrage. Okay, this is what they're doing. They want us to. They're going to use him as an ally, right? He's going to be an ally.
The ancestors of the white right-wingers. They were absolute savages. They murdered people. They lynched people. They raped people. They enslaved people. They took babies from their mothers and sold them as property. You want to talk about savages? Your ancestors were the biggest savages the world has ever seen. And so don't you dare call a black man a savage after you murdered him. Don't you dare do that. I'm so sick of African Americans being called violent when the world's worst violence was done to them, not by them, to them, not by them. For God's sake, you want to do racist stereotypes? If it fit anywhere, and it doesn't, but if it fit anywhere, it would certainly fit white right-wingers in the South, who has hundreds of years of history of being savages. Savages! They snatched babies, and they sold them as property, and they raped their mothers. Savages! That's what they were. You want to talk about stereotypes? Screw all of you who still defend that Confederacy. That monstrosity. Anyone who defends that is a barbaric savage.
That's why they don't want to teach American history in public schools. That's why there's been a strong orchestrated effort to prevent the teaching of anything that you just mentioned right now. Because, hey, God forbid that, children learn about the real savages in this country's history, right? Let's go ahead and dehumanize people over their toenails, but let's also erase the part of our history that, yes, is dark, that's awful, but is the truth.
You know what white right-wingers did in the South? And they did this for hundreds of years. In a lynching, they not only hung the person, they burned the person, and then they cut off their genitalia. And in the midst of doing all this, I swear to God, you could look it up in the history books. They had a picnic around the body. And then they would take home pieces of the charred body for memorabilia. They would have their kids, go pick pieces of the body off. And then after they did all of that, they had the temerity to call black people violent. No more. No more. You don't ever get to call a black person violent. You don't ever get to do that. So if you're a white right-winger in the South, don't cry about, oh no, my beloved ancestors. Your ancestors were not beloved. They weren't. They were monsters. So I said it because it's true. How you react to that is up to you. You can say, hey, that was terrible. They shouldn't have done that.
Okay, so he's right to a point, but except they were Democrats. They were not right wingers. They were left wingers.
They were left wingers. You see,
but you see him saying what they're doing.
See what he's doing.
What they're trying to do is change. They're trying to rewrite history. The truth is that slave owners were Democrats.
Democrats.
Jim Crow was orchestrated by Democrats. The Klan was Democrats. But he's trying to say right wingers, but it was not. That's not true.
Now the facts.
I thought that was true too, because see, everybody always thinks. You know what I mean?
Why wouldn't it be? Why wouldn't you think
You would think that, but it's just not true.
No, what he's saying
Lincoln
about
was a Republican.
Yeah, what he's saying about slavery and all the atrocities that happened with slavery, which are well documented, is true. Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's a lot of it. It's true. But what we want you to focus on right now is the fake outrage. Mm-hmm. This is fake outrage. He's making sure that we understand that you guys are victims of this country. And I swear I never saw it. I never saw, if I saw a video like this a long time ago, I would think, oh my God, they're for us. They're for us, not against us. They're fighting for us. They're fighting for.
But also that, again, even with that, he's lying. That was Republicans. That wasn't Republicans. That was Democrats.
Yeah.
they're trying to rewrite history because he's a Democrat.
Right. And so they're
And
trying
so
to
is
change
Anna.
the narrative.
They're trying to change the narrative. The narrative. There's a new movie called Woman King out. It's being shredded because the Dahomey tribe were part of the transatlantic slave trade.
Right.
And the French that came there were going there to end slavery. The
Right.
white people that they were trying to find. It's like, but the Dahomey tribe wanted to keep slavery. And they had to dig deep to find this woman empowerment, that they decided to rewrite history so that women can be made to be strong. This strong army of women. You know why those women were? You know why there was a strong army of women in Africa? Because the men were taken up by slaves by other Africans.
That's why.
That's why that tribe was all women. And by the way, they got slaughtered.
Those women didn't win. They make it seem like they won.
Right.
Like there's some kind of winner of the women. They're warrior.
But they
women
didn't,
warriors.
right.
It's like.
But they didn't want to talk about the fact that they were part of the sending slaves through the colonizers.
Amazing what happens when you do a little research, huh? So it's pretty amazing.
It's horrible.
So when I see stuff like with Jenkins, how he's behaved, see, y'all, the behavior is what I'm looking at. So he's gonna mention. So what he did right there was he talked about all the atrocities, right? That was for shock and awe. So you guys can make sure you remember slavery. You stay there, okay? No one's gonna forget slavery. No one's gonna forget slavery. No one. There's no way I can sit here and say, "Oh, slavery never happened." Of course it did. Of course it happened, right? But what he is doing is he just wants to make sure in real time that you maintain the mindset of, "Oh, they did do that to my ancestors."
But this is what
we were slaughtered, and he's using it. You guys, I think that's the slap in the face of slavery.
But he's doing it though because he's trying to slide in that there were Republicans. They were not.
Yeah.
They were Democrats, and what he's trying to do is lie about the Republican thing by getting you to distract you by using emotional rhetoric.
Right.
But what you're not noticing is that he's telling you that it was Republicans, and it was not. Lincoln was a Republican. The first senators that were black, right out of Reconstruction, were the first black senators were Republicans. Republicans sent them. White Republicans. The only reason they're throwing white people under the bus is because they're Democrats. They're trying to make it look like they were the good white people.
Yeah.
And so that's the only reason. Because if Cenk was a Republican, he wouldn't have said it like that. But the truth is that he's only doing that is because what they're afraid of, and this is the thing, is that this is what I think is what's happening, is that particularly black men are starting to go conservative.
We keep telling you. The numbers are there, you guys.
You know what I mean? They're starting to move. And so what they're trying to do is use these white liberals to sort of make us in our feelings again, to keep us in this party.
It works.
Because he knows he went to Harvard, Cenk. He knows darn good and well that the people in the South that were slave owners and the people in the South that were for who wrote Jim Crow, the Klan, Margaret Sanger. Those were all Democrats, and he knows it. But what he's trying to do is to hypnotize you with rhetoric and then a lie.
Yeah. This is what they do. And I know this video. I'm not sure, Tyrone, if you sent this video because we didn't even discuss it when you sent this to us in the email. But I don't know if you were sending it because you were saying we're trying to show us that look, white people are telling the truth too. White people are telling the truth too. And the thing is that when I see videos like this, it's different. We see it different because our eyes are kind of like open. We don't look at this as a white ally, right? We look at this as white people, a white person, a white liberal that is trying to maintain the slavery, racism, and white supremacy, and that's what keeps black people in order. It's kept us in order for 60 some odd years, right? We since we've been voting Democrat, it's kept us in order. So we don't look at this as, wow, he went on this a rant to support black people. I didn't see that. That's what you thought. I didn't see that. What I saw was that he's trying to keep black people thinking about slavery because he knows that the numbers are going in a different direction. Yeah. The numbers are going in a different direction. So when the numbers go in a different direction like they're doing right now, specifically with black men, because let's be honest, black men are the ones that are going to be the ones to change this. They're going to be the ones to change the way that black women are, they're our leaders. They're our ones. They're the voice of reason, I guess you would say. And you lose that man, that black man, and he goes over to a side that's speaking something that's much more logical. that is going to scare the daylights out of these
and
people.
that's what they're really afraid of, because when Trump ran for office, he got 8% of the black vote. Now that's very little.
It's not a lot.
But when he ran the second time and lost, he got 12%. The numbers are going the wrong way.
direction. Conservative,
and now they're doubling down on the slavery talk and things like that. But the truth is that Cenk is from Turkey, and Anna Kasparian is Armenian.
She's Armenian.
So they don't connect themselves anyway to the slave trade or anything, because their country, they're not descendants. They didn't come from here.
That's fake outrage.
That's fake outrage. And the idea that he would sit there and keep repeatedly saying Republicans, when he knows, this man went to Harvard, he knows the truth.
Cenk is well-versed. Cenk is smart, and he is well-versed on a lot of things. You cannot tell.
But he works for the Democratic Party, and Hillary Clinton's camp gave him $20 million.
Yep. And so he's going to
throw propaganda. That's what he's going to do. You know what I mean? So it's just like,
keep us thinking about slavery, racism, white supremacy. You keep us thinking about those things. You got us.
They don't want us to think independently.
No.
That's what I'm saying. Sometimes I feel like now that you look at it, when you start to really step back from your feelings and you look at it, you wonder, because we were moving in the right direction.
Yeah.
You were wondering if maybe the civil rights movement wasn't placed by Democrats, because it was by Democrats, to keep us from moving forward and make us dependent on the government. Because that's exactly how it is now. We don't own the same businesses we used to own anymore.
Why is that, guys?
Our families are broken up.
Our whole mentality is different. We just watched the video of a girl.
We have generational welfare now.
Look at our entertainment now. Look at this.
Look how hard they're trying to make us look like savages.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that every Democrat thinks like this. Not even white liberal. I think that what happens is that rhetoric like this gets in the feelings of all people.
You're right.
And then it makes people vote against their interests because they're all emotionally invested. And if you when you go into politics and you're not clear thinking, you can get bamboozled. Like I said, you can give someone very little information, and if you can get them riled up and angry, you can turn them into radicals, and you can make them not think clearly, and you can be deceived in those feelings.
This is not about. This is just about knowledge, and forget about the Democrat Republican right now, conservative. It's just that you need to do research. Like, people need to do research. And that's what the fear for me is that I'm watching this, is that black people are not researching anything. Not all, but you guys get it. But I feel like they're not researching anything. I didn't. I'm telling you, because I didn't do it. I didn't research. It wasn't until I got to do the conservative thing that I'm like, maybe I should know more about this. I was wrong about so much stuff that I didn't. I mean, I'm talking about factually wrong, you guys. I'm not statistically wrong. I had statistics in my head that weren't even accurate. That didn't even exist.
And it also don't make sense. Why do they keep people like Thomas Sowell and Walter Williams away from us?
Why?
Herman Cain. Why do they not
Larry
glorify?
Elder.
They glorify all these other black people that happen to be Democrats. Why don't we talk about Robert Woodson? Why don't we talk about Carol Swain? Why aren't we talking about Herman Cain? Why aren't we talking about these people?
Why are we not talking about Booker T. Washington in a real way?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
you know what I'm saying? Like, why do we keep these people away from black people and call them coons? Why do they do that? There's something that's not adding up to me. And so, and because the thing was that Danielle and I, my mother's a Democrat, but she raised us Republican. I don't know. Well, that's what I'm saying. Danielle and I have been Democrats for the longest time, but we never lived like, now that I think, I've never lived like a Democrat. So when I looked at the Republican platform, that sounds like me. I believe in the Second Amendment.
Yeah, all of it.
Especially if you live in Chicago right now, where they're not arresting people. You better have a gun. You better know how to go to the shooting range and take care of yourself. I believe in the First Amendment. I don't care if Donald Trump says something you don't like. I don't care if Andrew Tate doesn't say something you like. You should fight for the right for them to say it, because everybody should be able to say what they want to say.
Right.
That's the American way. We're supposed to do that. You know what I mean? And so when people just, start getting in their feelings, this is what's wrong with women right now, is that there is not a woman today, not a girl that is 18, 25, or 30 who has ever experienced being put in the kitchen. No. We are so far removed from that life.
But somehow they're feminists. How are you feminists?
And they're sitting there talking about the pay gap. There is no pay gap. Yeah. That's a myth.
Doesn't exist.
But the thing is that you can't, as a woman, I can't get any woman. You ask a woman, I can ask a woman right now, how are they oppressed? And they can't tell you. Yeah. Because there isn't there. They're just getting rhetoric, and they're being put in their feelings. The same as what he did. They do it for women too.
I'm telling you, when they start mixing truth with lies, that's devilish.
Yeah, he's
that is,
lying.
That is manipulation at its best. What we just saw was pristine manipulation, and he's good at it. And I'm not falling for that. You guys, we are in the age, and I'm going to get going, but we are in the age of information right now.
At your fingertips.
At your fingertips, and I would suggest that people start doing their research. But the amount of things that we've learned
over the
and
years.
Are still learning.
And
by
still
the way.
learning over the years.
It's just incredible the way that I was thinking. I didn't have anything right. I didn't have any of my stats right. I'm talking about just receipts. I didn't have any of that right. I was literally just going with what people were saying.
We have got to start getting. We have to start getting our emotions in check. Some of us are just so mentally enslaved. Like we can't think beyond the pain of oppression we haven't even really experienced, because none of us are slaves.
When Bob Marley said, "Emancipate yourself from mental slavery," that's
you have to free your own mind.
Can you? I mean, like if you are enslaved with shackles, it's one thing.
I mean,
right?
Keith, the Hodge twins said that.
Yeah.
I was watching
he did say that.
This podcast the other day where the Hodge twins were on there, and Keith said, "I think it's worse than being. I think mental slavery is worse than being physically enslaved, because with physical enslaved, you can see it. You can't get rid, but if you can get free, you can run.
Yeah.
But when you're mentally enslaved, you're just walking around.
You can be free, but not free.
Thinking however they tell you to think. I mean, thank God my mom was so
she doesn't even
independent
know.
to the point where she just didn't raise us to just be baby mamas, and didn't go on the welfare when it gets tough. Just go get some public handout.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? She just kind of I don't even think she meant to do that.
I know she didn't mean.
You know what I mean? But the thing is,
for example,
though, exactly.
For example, question everything. Get the answers, but question everything. Don't even take. Here's one. Don't even take our word for it. This is how far I'm going with it for you guys. Don't even take our word for it. Do your own. Everything we just said. Go back and look at it. Figure it out. And look and see what you did. You got this right or wrong or whatever. Whatever. Just do your own research. Just don't go with the rhetoric that's out here. It's rhetoric. It's bull. This is fake outrage, and I'm not going for it. Black people are not victims. Okay? We're not oppressed, and we can do anything that we want, and we have. They're making it seem like we're still enslaved, like slaves. But people are mentally enslaved. That's why they're doing this.
And both Anna and Jake are from intact, wealthy families.
So stop it. You guys,
and so they are acting again.
Yeah.
Here we have white people, who don't know what it means to have a single mother rate, and how that messes up people.
Yeah. Don't you guys?
You know what I mean? So I don't like when white people who are liberals then try to act like they're having the experience with us. You're not. You're not, and you don't even know. You know what you're doing. That's another thing. You do know what you're doing, though, because you're smart and you've been in this TYT game long enough to know how people think. You know what I mean? And the thing is I know how black people think. And I know
black.
The instant you start bringing up anything racist or from the past, black people get paralyzed and we cannot move forward.
Oh my God, all the atrocities that happened with slavery. We know about the atrocities that happened with slavery. I think also our ancestors would probably want us to smarten up. They're probably like, no, look at what they're doing.
I mean, do you think, think about it. How many German people, I wonder, under Hitler, after it was all over, what the hell were we thinking?
Yeah.
They were brainwashed. Because he had it in their schools, he had it in their media,
books
to demonize Jews. So of course, once the soldiers came and got the Jews and everything, it was all over, and years later have passed, they probably are thinking, those people who were those oppressors probably thought, what were we thinking?
It's true.
You understand? Like sometimes when you don't think for yourself, because not all German people did that, and a lot of them got it because they were hiding Jews, because they knew this crap was wrong. You know what I mean? But that's what I'm saying. Of course, those people, when you don't follow the line, then you get called Uncle Tom, just like those German people who stood up for the rights of Jews.
We're willing to take the hit of calling us.
You can call me whatever you want.
We're willing to take the hit of calling us coons, Uncle Toms, Bet Winch, whatever you guys people call us.
Whatever the popular word.
Whatever it is. And we'll take it. Just do research. We still want you. We're still out for you. We want you to do research, though.
There's a reason why they're promoting black women in the Democratic Party. It's because they see black men going to the right. They're marching to independence.
Yeah.
People like Jank that keep us in that space because it looks like they were friends and they aren't.
Just let us know what you think about all this. We're so curious to know because I have so much new understanding of things. It's just kind of crazy what we've learned. So, but we want to know what you guys think. Leave a comment below. Please do not forget to like and subscribe to our channel. We would love to hear. I would love for you to subscribe. And that's it. Everybody have a really good weekend, and we'll see you next video.